Hey folks, this is Kerry. It's been a while since I've made a video, but here's something where I put one and one together, and it just all came together, and I was like, wow. I started out with this thing that's going on Oahu in Hawaii. This place on the east side of the island called the K'iwi Coast. There's these people that are raising money to buy this land to prevent it from being built on. And so here's their Facebook page, K'iwi Coast, and you see in their profile picture there they're holding a big check, and the check is made out to the Trust for Public Lands. So who is the Trust for Public Lands? Well, here's a page here. Some of you guys might have heard of Agenda 21. So this is Democrats against UN Agenda 21. Who funds Agenda 21 Sustainable Development? And if you scroll down to all the people that are involved in this, where is it at? Trust for Public Land right here. The Trust for Public Land is one of the partners for the Smart Growth Network, which is part of the UN Agenda 21 Council on Sustainable Development. So these guys have raised money from the public for the Trust for Public Land to buy up this land to prevent it from being developed on. Unknowingly, the Trust for Public Land is part of this movement where they're a part of the Agenda 21. They're setting aside land where they're not going to allow people to go to. They're going to be wildlife corridors. And this is going on a lot in the mainland, especially right now in California. There's a guy that makes some pretty good videos about that. This guy here, Grindall61, Grindall 61. And this map that you see here, it's color-coded red, yellow, and green. And this is from the UN's Agenda 21. This is their plan of what they want. The red areas are the areas core reserve and corridoring little to no human use. So you're not going to be allowed to go into the red areas. The yellow areas are the buffer zones, highly regulated use. And then the green areas are normal use. So that's where you're going to be allowed to go. Do you see much green on here? I see mostly red and yellow. The green is very small, very condensed population zones. So they're moving people off of the rural land and into these population centers. And so that's the goal, is that eventually you're never going to need to get into your car and go anywhere, because you're going to be in these highly condensed population areas where even the idea of getting into your car and going somewhere would be a nightmare because of the traffic problems. But they're going to be public transportation and bicycles and stuff like that, so you would never need to get into a car, thus reducing your carbon footprint, but also greatly reducing your freedom. Let me see what else I got here. So here's the K'iwi Coast. This is from Honolulu Magazine, it looks like. The land purchased to keep more of the east. And you'll see on here, the Trust for Public Land. Okay, where are we at? So I already did this one. Who funds it? City Council approves the Ho'opili project. So this is another piece of the puzzle that I put together. Out on the other side of Pearl Harbor, there's this farmland over there that they want to develop on, and people were protesting against it because they're going to be building on this farmland. But what it is they were going to build, I think it's 11,750 homes out there. And the thing that I put together is that's going to be right along the new rail line that they're building from the Ewa side of the island over into downtown Honolulu. So it's going to be right along the rail line. And so that's going to be part of this plan for the public transportation, where supposedly you would never have to get into a car because you're right on the rail line. You could just hop on the rail line and go where you need to go. And so here's Ho'opili. This is their webpage here. We believe that life is best lived in communities designed for people, not houses. And so it looks good. Solar panels, and bicycles, and butterflies. So here's the rail line they're building. So it's going to go from out here in Kapolei on the Ewa side of the island, and then the Ho'opili area is right in here somewhere. So it's going to be right next to the rail line, where you can just hop on the rail line and go wherever you need to go. And so here's the rail line. They started building it out here, and right now the construction has got it into about here. They still have all of this to go. And then it's just, this is countryside out here, so it was easy to build that. But once they get into the cities, man, going over the highways and roads and stuff like that, it's going to be crazy. And they're already like billions of dollars over budget. And so right now they're extending a general excise tax for another 5 years to help pay for it. And federal fundings are talking about pulling out if they don't get the taxes approved. So another piece of the puzzle is that over in an area called Kaka'ako, just the other side of the Ala Moana Shopping Center from Waikiki, there's a lot of construction going on right now, a lot of high rises being built. And so these are the substations for the rail system in Kaka'ako. And so here we go. So they're building high rises over there, apartment buildings and condos. So it's part of the plan for the stack 'em and pack 'em, where you're going to be, nobody's going to be living in houses anymore. Everybody's going to be living in apartments in the city, where everything is within walking distance. You never have to get into your car and go anywhere. And so here's more on the development in Kaka'ako. Our Kaka'ako. That's another expression that I see. Our land and our this. And they're like coaxing you into this. They're taking it away without you knowing it. They're making it sound good, but eventually they're taking it away, and you're not going to be able to go into those wildlife corridors. That's going to be totally controlled by the powers that be, part of the Agenda 21. So this is their PDF, the United Nations Sustainable Development Agenda 21. So if you guys want to do more research on that, there's lots. You Google Agenda 21, you're going to get a lot of stuff. But this guy here, he's got a couple of other videos where he's taking, actual newspaper articles, and he breaks them down for you, where they're buying up land and they're surrounding the cities with these corridors, and you're not going to be allowed to go into these corridors.
Right here, and as you can see, these dotted lines, this is the area they want to protect from you. This is the whole 300,000 acres right here, and look at this. We have some areas inside the protected area that are not going to be protected, and as you can see, we have Burbank and Northridge, which are some big city type areas, And this is the proof right here that people are going to literally be trapped in these cities. It's right here in the newspaper. They're putting it right in your face that if you live right here, you're going to be surrounded by parks and wildlife. If you live here, the same. If you live here, and how are you ever going to get from here to here or from here to here? Because they have told us that you will be trapped where you live.
On the 1% of the land, is that what you said, 1%? It's going to house them all together there, and they're going to love doing it because you're going to have a coffee shop on every corner, and you're going to have, all of everything they need self-contained in these little urban villages, which are absolutely essential because traffic congestion will stop them from ever leaving their village. We see it today already. It's very hard to get our dean to come out of Santa Monica. He's sort of trapped on the other side of the 405.
This right here is the entire ball game. I don't know how to make this any more clear than by showing you this map and by showing you that clip. This right here is Santa Monica, and where they were located in that lecture was over here in downtown Los Angeles, and he said that he's trapped on the other side of the 405, which is right here. So because that person lives right here on this side of the 405, he can hardly ever make it out to here because he is trapped where he lives. And look at this area, and this area, and this area, and this area. Look at these areas here. There's a forest here. They're constructing the
One more thing that I just noticed while I was filming this is one thing that you can pay attention to that'll let you know when you're on to something that's UN Agenda 21 is the language that they use. They all use common language, like the land corridors. And you hear that word corridors, you know that's part of the Agenda 21. But another one that I've noticed is this word our. O-U-R, our. So I noticed on here at the Kaka'ako plan, the neighborhood here is called Our Kaka'ako. And on the map over here for Kaka'ako, where all the high rises are building, there's a section over here called Our Kaka'ako. And if you go to the website for the Trust for Public Land, they have a hashtag, Our Land. Trust for Public Land. And they're in Honolulu too. Here's their address, 1003 Bishop Street, Honolulu, Hawaii. So they are in Hawaii. Here's their main website, Trust for Public Land. There's their hashtag, Our Land, Our Kaka'ako. They make you think that it's yours, but they're secretly taking it away from you. Hawaii State News. People raising $4 million to preserve Hawaii's coast, which is working alongside the Trust for Public Land. The last privately owned parcel of land along the popular coast is up for sale, so the Trust for Public Land steps in to buy it. Over on Maui, they purchased 64 acres of coastal wetlands in a partnership made possible through a public-private partnership between Maui County and the Trust for Public Land. So the Trust for Public Land is buying up all of this empty land. And then the Ho'opili project, another word that you'll see on the Agenda 21 is sustainability. Here was when they were trying to fundraise for the Trust for Public Land to buy up that land on the Kaiwi coast. SOS, bottom line, $500,000 more must be raised by August 30th or the land goes back to the developer.
At its core, Agenda 21 is about control. Control of the land, natural resources, and entire populations. It seeks to control the air by regulation of carbon emissions, the ground by sustainable development, and the sea through environmental regulations. Officially Officially stated, Agenda 21 is a comprehensive plan of action to be taken globally, nationally, and locally by organizations of the United Nations system, governments, and major groups in every area in which human impacts on the environment.
So where does humans impact on the environment? That's pretty much everywhere. And not only the land, but did you notice they said about the sea? There's been a couple of things where President Obama has proudly announced that he's set aside these certain areas of the ocean that are now forbidden for you to go into and to fish or collect any marine life or anything from that area. And a lot of it extends, you know, how the Hawaiian Islands actually extends for hundreds and thousands of miles to the northwest. And there's a big area that he's set aside there that you're no longer allowed to go into and catch fish there. Also down in the South Pacific somewhere too, by Samoa, I think, is another one that they've made it like a wildlife preserve. You're not allowed to go in there and fish anymore. So they're setting aside not only the land but the ocean. They're going to control all the resources.